In September of 1860, the Prince of Wales, Albert Edward, eldest son of Queen Victoria, paid a visit to this area, embarking near Point Edward. He was immediately escorted down to the shoreline, where 17 long canoes waited, one for the prince and one for each of 16 visiting chiefs. It wasn't long before all the canoes were in the water and drifting downriver, paddles being used to steer the canoes only, the current of the water doing the rest. Each canoe held a chief and 6 of his braves, one with a drum. As they slowly drifted out into the current of the river, the drums began to beat, and the braves began to chant, asking Mother Earth and the spirits of the 4 winds to bring a blessing on all that day, especially on this prince, the son of the Great Mother from across the Great Sea. The Prince of Wales, resplendent in his bright red uniform, with all of its white piping and gold braid, sat obviously enjoying himself. As this cavalcade of canoes drifted south, propelled only by the rushing force of the St. Clair River. They soon reached the docks of Port Sarnia, where they all disembarked to be met by the mayor and other politicians gathered at the docks. A few hours later, the chiefs joined the Prince of Wales in front of the town hall. First was a chief from Lake Superior, purported to be more than 100 years old. Even though he needed assistance and moved very slowly, this fine-looking old man approached the prince, his noble red face seeming even redder by the sight of his eyes. He was obviously blind, only the whites of his eyes showing. Guided by the arm by a young native boy, the chief stopped a few paces away and waited as the boy opened a stool and helped the old man to sit. Before the prince had a chance to speak, this noble man seated before them raised his hands and his head, and in a pleasant voice began to chant in English, "Beautiful is the sun, O strangers, when you come so far to see us. All our chiefs in peace await you. All our lodges stand open for you. You shall enter all our wigwams, for the heart's right hand we give you." As this noble old man finished and lowered his hands, the Prince of Wales stepped forward. The young native boy produced another stool and motioned to the prince to sit opposite the old chief. The prince sat, and within a few minutes the two were chatting away comfortably. A sight to see this fine old man, dressed in his clothes made of animal skins, and this royal-born young man of just 18 years in his fancy European uniform, with gold buttons and white braiding on his sleeves, the only common coloring being the deep red of the old man's face and the young man's tunic. The chief told the Prince of Wales that he was known as Coming Thunder among his people. When the Prince of Wales asked how old he was, Coming Thunder replied that he did not know, since they do not keep registers in their wigwams. When the prince asked about the large silver medal around his neck, the chief told him that it had been given to his great-grandfather in the Great Mother's country across the Great Sea by King George III himself. Looking back, the prince called to the Duke, who brought forward a box on a red silk pillow and stood quietly just to the rear of the prince. Then the prince stood. Coming Thunder's eyesight had failed, but his other senses must have still been very keen, because he stood almost simultaneously with the prince. The Prince of Wales spoke to Coming Thunder in a voice loud enough for all to hear. "O noble chief Coming Thunder, just as King George III once gave a medal to your grandfather, his granddaughter, your great mother from across the sea, my mother, the Queen Victoria, monarch of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, has asked me to present to you a special medal cast to recognize the bond that exists between your great mother from across the great sea and each of the chiefs of the noble red men here in Canada. The old chief stood tall as the Prince of Wales placed the strap of the medal around his neck. Then the boy behind him handed something forward to Coming Thunder. My prince, just as you have presented me with this symbol of esteem from your royal mother, the good Queen Victoria, I would like to give to you to take home to your royal mother this club, which was many years ago used against our enemies, but is now presented to you for your royal mother as a club of peace, friendship, and esteem. Please accept this gift to our great mother from across the sea. Then Chief Coming Thunder sat down, crossed his arms, and waited as each of the other chiefs came forward to be made known to the Prince of Wales and receive their own medal from Queen Victoria. After all the medals had been presented, the chiefs accompanied the Prince of Wales and the Duke of Newcastle into a long house that had been set up alongside the town hall. There they all talked for more than an hour before the prince had to leave. Since nothing was recorded, no one knows what was spoken about that day in that long house.